I call him stone face, and you see, he looks like he's carved out of stone.
Andy Till. No disgrace, of course, losing to Chris Pyatt, now the WBO middleweight champion. And interestingly enough, the last Briton to hold the European light middleweight title back in '86. We can't really talk tactics for this fight. We don't know about Boudouani, and let's face it, Till only knows one way to fight, doesn't he?
That's right. He's a very strong fighter, and he, as we say, he only knows one way to fight, so it's going to be interesting.
We'll expect him to come forward, stand there, and just do what he did to Tony Collins, get him on the ropes and just lay into him, basically.
Forward, forward, forward. Yeah, keep bustling on.
Right, let's see what happens. Earlier today, however, at the Thomas & Becket gym, they held the weigh-in. There was something of a scare for one of the boxers. Paul Dempsey now reports.
Till, as always, coming to the workplace in a business-like manner, not looking for any fuss or bother at the start of what may well be the biggest day in his career so far. And no problems at all for the French champion, Boudouani, 10 stone, 13-6, and that's just perfect. Maybe to the surprise of the board secretary, John Morris, Till did have his problems. First time up, marginally over the 11 stone limit, 14 ounces over, to be precise. So, with Johnny Bloomfield to supervise, Till's trainer, behind closed doors he went to try to dip under the limit by losing the surplus. Second time round it was better, but even the most seasoned pro can't make this an exact science. This time, Old Stoneface is 11 stone, 8 ounces. So a little more work required. Harry Holland, the manager, taking it all in his stride, discussing it with board officials, but to prevent any serious embarrassments, Till and his trainer Johnny Bloomfield took off for a little spin around the local park to try to lose the offending few ounces with the least possible fuss. And back inside the Becket, sure enough, third time lucky. Indeed, most of the fighters who came to weigh in do claim that the scales were slightly jittery. No serious embarrassments, but hardly the perfect start to Harry's day.
I'll tell you the problem really was not the scale so much as the floor. Unfortunately, you can see, like, not just one fighter, 3 fighters have come overweight at championship weight, and we're professionals. It was only ounces, it wasn't pounds. But the floor was very sprung here, unfortunately, and there were so many people around the scales, and that made a difference between the ounces. So, no real problem, but something you could do without.
Say that again. Now, Billy, will that have taken anything out of Andy Till?
Well, no, I don't think so. He's on the ball tonight. He's going to be up and ready for this fight, and I don't think it'll take anything out of him. It may psychological effect on some people, but I don't believe so.
No, not with Andy. He's too strong. Right, let's go straight back to Pickett's Lock for what should be a thrilling European title fight. Boudouani, the champion, with just 1 defeat on his record to world-class Gilbert Baptiste, with 21 KOs from 23 wins. Till we know all about, let's rejoin Glenn McCrory and Paul Dempsey for tonight's main event.
Thank you once more, Billy and Gary Norman. And truly a mouth-watering contest in every sense. Till specialises in creating headline news and occasional fights of the year, and we do believe that this one has just that possibility about it. And of course, were Till to take the honours tonight, it would be a major, major event in his glittering late resurgence. Andy Till, a rising star at the age of 29. The roof lifts off the Pickett's Lock Leisure Centre as Harry Holland, his manager, his lifelong manager, leads Till up to the ring for the most important fight of his life. Johnny Bloomfield, trainer, long-time trainer, just to the left. And the locals, Till supporters, he's a Middlesex lad from northwest London, and they're all here to give Till the big cheer on the big night. The challenger, an unusual situation for Till. He walks in Glenn McCrory, a challenger tonight.
That's right, after being the champion of the British title, he's going for bigger fish tonight, and I think mentally he's very ready for that. Talking to him after his last couple of fights, he's very keyed up. He really believes, you know, he can go at world level. So I think this is a perfect stage for him. He's got the fight at home, so it's a great opportunity for him to add the European title again, and hopefully go on from there to the world.
It's all in front of old Stoneface tonight. But the obstacle that must be overcome on home territory is a man not used to being away from his home patch in France. But he is the champion, and his name is Laurent Boudouani. And the champion about now to make his entrance to the ring. As we wait for Boudouani, Till stamps the ground in the ring like a rampaging bull, waiting for Boudouani to work his way through the crowd. Business on his mind. And here at last is Boudouani. The first time we have seen him on these shores, the Frenchman, the age of 26. He has 3 years on Till, who's 29, and he has a couple of inches, 5'11" to Till's 5'9". One defeat on the record. We'll explain more as the evening progresses. From Sallanches, down in the French Alps, he's a long way from home tonight. He has a reputation as a quick starter, and the feeling around the arena, Glenn McCrory, is that he's going to have to be quickly about his work to quell Till's charge.
He is. He's going to have to do something a bit special, because Andy Till will be very psyched up for this. So Boudouani's going to have to do something special to try and put Till in his place early on.
Our MC for the main event, Mick Goodall.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please be upstanding for the national anthems? gentlemen, live throughout Great Britain on Sky Sports Ringside and in France on TF1, this is the main event of the evening from Pickett's Lock Leisure Centre in North London. Sponsored by the Daily Star newspaper and SPX Sportswear. Your officials appointed by the European Boxing Union for this contest, the supervisor in charge, Mr. Angel Guzman of Spain. The steward in charge, Mr. Nipper Reid, Vice President of the British Boxing Board of Control. The judges are Mr. Roger Kreitz of Luxembourg, Mr. Nud Jensen of Denmark. The referee in charge of the action this evening is Mr. Henk Meyers of Holland, and the timekeeper from London, Mr. Nick White. Ladies and gentlemen, Frank Maloney and Harry Holland, in association with Panix Enterprises, present a contest of 12 3-minute rounds to decide the light middleweight championship of Europe between, in the red corner, the challenger wearing gold trunks from Norfolk, England, a professional record of 19 wins, 2 losses, 10 wins by knockout, the light middleweight champion of Great Britain, Andy Stoneface Till. And in the blue corner, wearing the burgundy trunks, the champion from France, a record of 23 wins, just 1 loss, 21 wins coming by way of KO. The light middleweight champion of Europe, Laurent Boudouani. At the weigh-in today, Till scaled 10 stone 13 3/4 pounds, that's 69.6 kilograms. Boudouani 10 stone 13.5 pounds, 69.5 kilograms. Ladies and gentlemen, the light middleweight championship of Europe.
Our thanks to Mick Goodall, Henk Meyers, the Dutch referee, completing the formalities by checking the gloves. The seconds will soon be away, and this fight for the European Light Middleweight Championship will be underway. A major fight this in world terms, as well as being a European title clash. A victory for Till over the European champion Boudouani gives him rock-solid claims at the world title in any one of its 4 versions. And if he does take the glory tonight, there really is no knowing where Andy Till's career could go as he enters his 30s. But now the priority is to make the step up from British Championship class to European Championship class. Glenn McCrory.
It is, and it's a big step, but a step I think Andy relishes trying to do. Already both men take a centre of the ring and look for the jabs just to try and get the play at the very start. And both are landing with good jabs.
Make no mistake, Boudouani is a quality man, Olympic silver medalist in 1988. He's ranked 3 by the WBC, 4 by the WBA. He's won and defended his European title, but until now has never really experienced a hostile away crowd like this one. And on his second defence, if you're a champion, you've got to go on the road and defend your title in all weathers, in all climates, against all sorts of opponents. And this is the big question about him tonight.
But Boudouani started quite comfortably. He's getting that jab to work very well at the beginning. That's what he's got to do if he wants to get... It's no good standing with Andy Till. He's very strong. Till already trying to force Boudouani to the ropes, make the most of that strength.
Till's game plan reported to us to stand in Boudouani's face all night long.
Well, at the minute, Till is standing in Boudouani's face, but he's standing very upright and taking too much punches. He's got to relax a little bit and start rolling that head. He's very upright. That's the sort of work that Till needs. He needs to get inside. He needs to rough Boudouani up.
Early signs, Glenn, as we expected. Boudouani, strong and powerful, but he has let himself down once or twice. Indeed, when he lost to the world-class Baptiste a couple of years back. And this is a good early attack from Till, but Boudouani showing all that physical strength and presence there, riding away on the rope and tying Till up to quail that early attack. But the question was, on previous occasions, was Boudouani completely prepared? Now he's got to be to fight Till, because we know that Till is going to be absolutely top condition. But the word from the French camp is that Boudouani has done all the homework this time.
And he looks very sharp, very fast.
The reigning British light middleweight champion Andy Till, who outpointed Wally Swift in the fight of the year in 1992. Now the proud possessor of a Lonsdale belt, but now mixing it with world class in the shape of this man, the European champion from France, Laurent Boudouani, 26 years of age, big lad, 5'11", one defeat, 8 straight wins now on the run, 4 of those inside the distance. And a credible European champion, that much is clear already, Glenn.
Yes, we can already see signs of good style. I think he may well have just edged that first round. Certainly on my call, I think he did. But Andy Till started this one very, very fast indeed.
This is better from Till. This is Till at his best when he's walking on, dictating terms.
Yes, Till's got to hurry things up a little bit. He's got to be a little bit in a hurry. He's got to let more shots go. The first round he was content to let Boudouani jab, and I think Boudouani just nicked that first round by some excellent jabs.
Would any part of that be Till just having a look at the size of the job in front of him?
Well, I think so. Obviously, it's a big step up for Andy Till. He's in for a European title. It's a very big night. So obviously, you know, he's got to warm himself into this fight a little bit. Sometimes when you're at home, you have the advantages, but you're under extra pressure, you know, because of being at home. So, you know, he just looked a little stiff, a little tight that first round.
I think you're right, Glenn, and also we should remember that traditionally Till has not been the fastest starter in the world. Think about those fights, those fantastic fights with Wally Swift. He wasn't quickly away then.
That's right. He's got to move the head a little bit more. He hasn't got allowed Boudouani to get up with them fast shots. See some nice defensive work from Boudouani. Just slipped up them ropes, turned Till and landed with a jab.
Oh, it's a good shot. It's a lovely shot. It's a lovely shot. The right cross. Well,
very good.
8.
He just brought that out of nowhere. Just a fast looping right hand. Got Till in all kinds of trouble.
Early problems for Andy Till. We haven't seen this for a very long time. Till up against the ropes.
Boudouani showed some very good moves on the attack here. He's got Till pinned on the rope and he's stepping from side to side. Dangerous moments for Till.
Dangerous indeed, and Till's eyes really tell a story that he's in trouble. But the guts may get Till out of trouble here. Referee steps in and takes a lovely right cross. And he's just called for holding on. That seemed a little harsh.
The referee took that shot very well as well.
We have a fight in our hands, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a good fight. Till took a shot well, came back very well, but has got that chin a little bit in the air when he's thrown his own shots. But we've now seen the class of Boudouani. We know he's a worthy of his high world ranking.
Till gets through the storm. But a sensational early start by Boudouani. And here is why it was quite so sensational. Talk us through this, Glenn.
Here's this punch. He's just lying on the ropes, Boudouani, and it's just a sort of a loose flick with that right hand. He curled it round. A very unorthodox shot, but landed right on Till's jaw. Very accurate. Misses with the left there. Sweeps around with that right hand. and had Andy Till lots of problems. But all credit to Andy, he got up and he fought back very well.
And here we see him coming back, doing what he does best, throwing lots of leather.
He fought back very well there, but at times I was a little worried when he was fighting like that because his chin was very high. But he stopped the onslaught from Boudouani.
For any among you who like the odd flutter, extraordinary odds were offered around London today for Boudouani, the champion, remember, to win by a stoppage. Boudouani 11-2 against. So the bookies don't always call everything absolutely right, but we should see. Still early days. Must say they did seem generous. More danger for Till. He's being outgunned here. We're in round 3, and Andy Till is in an unusual, unaccustomed situation of being outgunned.
I think the problem he's finding is that Boudouani is very loose, and Till's missing with shots. Boudouani's come out with very good loose shots, which are landing. His accuracy is very good. Again, a chopping right hand got Till, just stopped him in his tracks, and again, desperate trouble Andy Till is in. There's really bad moments in this fight for him.
He really is in trouble, Till. He's been knocked down 4 times in his career before tonight. He got up to win all of those. He needs to maintain that form to be in with any chance at all.
Boudouani showing class there with Till trapped on the rope, stepping to the side and hooking right to the body and right over the head. Good shots from Boudouani.
And there's a nick over Till's left eye as well, Glenn. It's looking very bleak, and Boudouani's working it. And the power which has destroyed British standard opponents is not moving the European champion. At least so far.
The one thing we know about Andy Till is he's very game, he's very hard, and he will not give up very easily. He'll fight as long as there's an ounce of fight left in him. Good shots from Boudouani, skipping to the right and throwing that fight curling, the fast curling right hand over the top.
Not only is he a powerful man, he's a very good technical fighter, and he's causing Till all sorts of problems.
Boudouani seems to have a little problem under his left eye. I don't know whether it's the beginning of a bruise, just starting there under the left eye. So obviously Till's getting through with some shots of his own.
Cut over Till's left eye is worsening noticeably as this 3rd round goes on, and that's tremendous encouragement for Boudouani, of course.
It is, and Boudouani looks very relaxed. You know, he's got a nice rhythm to his work, where Till looks as if he's trying very hard, and the rhythm isn't there, so he's getting caught with shots.
While there is life, there is certainly hope for Andy Till. Never write him off. If you're seeing him for the first time, if he's still in the ring, believe me, when we get to the latter stages, Till can pull it out against virtually anybody. But more good moments in this 3rd round for Boudouani.
He had some very good points. He showed some very good skills, looked very loose, put his shots together very well. And certainly when they stand toe-to-toe, Till seems to, Boudouani seems to come through with the better shots when they're in close.
Now let's refresh our memories about one of the key incidents in this 3rd round. Till going down, no suggestion in my book of a knockdown there.
Certainly not. In fact, just previous to Till going down, he landed with a good shot himself to Boudouani. So I think he just threw everything in that shot and threw himself off balance.
What's the word in that corner now, Glenn?
Well, I think obviously they've got problems. Andy's looking in a lot of distress.
It's a case of trying to survive through these early stages for Till. He knows he has the condition, Glenn, to stay in there if he can stay out of trouble.
He's got the condition and strength, but Boudouani just seems to have a little bit too much up for him in the technique and the moves, and maybe even in the punching power. He's got a very good rhythm, very relaxed, and Till hasn't managed to set himself with a good attack behind a jab. his everything, his whole performance has been upset by them knockdowns.
This is better from Till. We told you, while there is life, there is hope when this fella's involved. Referee calls him again and stops what was developing into a good attack by Till.
Well, the referee's not doing Till any favours by stopping, because that's really what Till needs to do. He's got to try and rough Boudouani up, and the referee's stopping the action when Till tries to do that.
Till's a little more composed in this fourth, Glenn.
He does, but that's what he's got to do. He's got to try and get the centering, get that jab working a little bit. Get some composure. And Boudouani's worked very hard in the last round, so obviously, it's going to take its toll on him.
The general idea, perhaps, the longer this goes, the better Andy Till's chances will get.
But how often have we seen Andy Till on the ropes for so long?
Starting to throw nicer, looser combinations, Till. And give Boudouani 1 or 2 anxious minutes. Was that a thumb? Or a head?
Till doesn't look as if he looked very unhappy about that. A nasty cut above that right eye. Turned away.
A real nasty one. Sorry, Glenn.
He turned away. Didn't look as if he wanted to go on there. So I'm not sure whether it was a punch or whether it was an accidental clash of heads. But he's in desperate trouble now, Andy Till.
Just when things were beginning to look up, there's a very nasty cut around the right eye of Till.
It looks like it's above the eye and below the eye.
Till blinking the blood away. All the courage is displayed in his previous performances. He's needing to draw upon here now.
It's a very bad eye. I can't see that going on. The referee letting it go on too long. So Till's really, he's got to let everything go now. I think his only chance has got to be to stop Boudouani.
There's a lot of blood coming out of that eye. It's going to restrict Till's vision, and they're going to have a very close look at this now. I don't think he's too happy. Dramatic developments as you've been away at the end of round 4. I have to tell you that this European light middleweight championship decider is over. Andy Till forced to call it a day at the end of round 4, retiring with a very severe cut over the right eye, and we also think under the right eye, and we can now refresh our minds as to how it happened, Glenn McCrory.
Because Andy Till just started to throw a few shots back. He had a little phase where he really went for it, and there we see a clash ahead. So it was
Clearly ahead.
A definite clash ahead. I don't think it was intentional, but certainly Andy Till came off the worst.
It's a very unfortunate way to go down, isn't it?
Very unfortunate, but I must say that Boudouani looked very good. Some great work came from Boudouani.
It's a great result for Boudouani. It's a heartbreaking disappointment for Andy Till, and Mick Goodall will now say the words that Andy Till would have had nightmares about hearing.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the 4th round, Andy Till has been retired with a damaged right eye. The winner and undefeated light middleweight champion of Europe, Laurent Boudouani. And the supervisor, Angel Guzman, will now present the championship belt.
A second successful defence of the European crown then for Laurent Boudouani. Andy Till becomes his 3rd victim. He won the European title last November, beating Jean-Claude Fontana. Fontana, who had a result over Wally Swift, incidentally. Defended against the Italian Romolo Casamonica over 9 rounds, and now an excellent away performance from his point of view against Andy Till.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure I'd like to show you appreciation for a very gallant loser indeed, please, Andy Till!
It's hardly how Andy Till would want to go out in front of his home crowd, but he's shown great sportsmanship. Boudouani is clearly a champion of whom we can hear a lot more in the years ahead. I rather think we haven't heard the last of Andy Till. and even on the basis of what we've seen here, maybe a very good shout for a rematch. We shall hope to talk to Till in just a few minutes. Rejoin us at ringside with Gary Norman and Billy Schwer after this break.
Welcome back. This was the incident that cost Andy Till his shot at the European title. That headbutt there, which opened a very nasty cut. Harry Holland and Johnny Bloomfield pulling him out of the fight. You can see the agony written on his face. A very nasty cut. Not a way to lose a European title challenge. The man who will know about incidents like that is Billy. Not a great way to end a fight. He can come again, surely.
Definitely so, yeah. I mean, it's very unfortunate again to lose the fight in that way, but he can come back. And he's a very strong man, he'll be back.
Boudouani was very impressive. He was very fluid, moved around well, and he was basically outboxing.
That's right, he was winning the fight up to then, and he was getting behind a jab, catching Andy with a lot of jabs, a lot of right hands as well, but had him down a couple of times, and he looked the goods. He looked very well.
Didn't look like he had the knockout punch that we thought he had on paper.
That's right, yeah.
But he had the right hook that put him down in the second round. It was sort of a fluid, but bang on the button.
That's right. Andy was coming in and he whipped it round and he caught him bang on the chin, and he obviously went down. And yeah, he did look good.
Obviously, we're speculating, but we know Andy. If the fights go on and on and on, the longer they go on, the more he comes back. The strength and it favours him. Would you have seen any way he could have got back into that the way it was going?
I mean, it was a very difficult night for Andy. He was battling back, as he always does, but as the fight was going on, he was getting caught more and more. It was a very difficult night for him, but you never know with Andy. He could have pulled it out. That's the way he is.
Yeah. Still British champion. Yeah. So what would he do now? Come back to the domestic level and defend the British title again and get himself back up in the ratings?
Yeah,
maybe?
he could well do that. He could take a bit of time off, let himself heal up, then maybe defend the British title, as you say. Yeah, could do it that way.
So you think it's fair to say a couple of fights back in the line, and then in what, maybe sort of 6 months to a year's time? Not dissimilar to yourself. You've lost your British and Commonwealth titles. You'll want to do the same thing, won't you? That's
right, yeah, exactly the same thing. Have a couple of fights and get the title shot again.
But you definitely think Andy's got the potential to win a European title?
He has got the potential. It's a very prestigious crown to win the European title. There's a lot of good fighters out there, but he can do it on the right night, all being well.
Yeah, well, hopefully he'll get back and it'll go his way. We'll talk to him very shortly in a moment. But now, a report I promised you on the opening of a new play in London about the life story of the legendary Muhammad Ali. It's a play I urge any boxing fan and admirer of the great Ali to go and see. This is why. The Mermaid Theatre in Blackfriars was the setting last week for a gala evening to celebrate the opening of the stage play about the life story of Muhammad Ali. The man himself flew into London especially to help publicise this event. He is no longer the fast-talking, wisecracking Ali that we remember so vividly, but he had a few surprises in store for the crowd that had turned up to see him. Ali is portrayed by the co-writer of the play, Geoffrey Ewing, who achieves the actor's ultimate illusion of becoming the character he plays. And I asked him what had inspired him to write the play.
Just a deep, long-lived admiration for Muhammad Ali, I guess you'd say. I've always felt like Ali really wasn't appreciated or understood like I thought he should be by the world in general, so it was just sort of, you know, just a labor of love, I guess you'd say, yeah.
The play starts with Ewing enacting Ali as we know him now, but we soon move back in time to chronicle his life as a young boy returning to America from Rome with his Olympic gold medal.
Well, I'm going to be heavyweight champion of the world, Rudy. By the time I'm 21, I'm going to break Floyd Patterson's record. Going to be the youngest heavyweight champion in history. Come on, little brother. Come on, get up, come on. In this corner, weighing 210 pounds, the youngest heavyweight champion the world has ever known. Cassius Marcellus Clay.
Every major part of Ali's career is chronicled, even his audacity at predicting the round in which he'd beat Sonny Liston.
I predict that he will go in it to prove that I'm great. If he want to go to heaven, I'll get him himself. He'll be in a worse fix if I cut it to 6, and if he keep talking time, I'll cut it to 5.
Centre stage is the ring, where Ewing is more than convincing in his portrayal of this most beautiful and skilled athlete boxing has ever known. This is the first victory over Liston, ending in round 6. And this, towards the end of the play, the bell tolling the vivid recollection of the scene in Ali's corner at the end of the Larry Holmes fight, and the realisation from Ali that this was at last the end. This one-man show lasting almost 2 hours takes us through the highs and lows of his career. And more than once, I felt a lump in the throat at the effectiveness of Ewing's performance. He is captivating as Ali, both young and old, and there was no better judge on the night than those present. This was the final scene of the play. The applause for Ewing was rapturous, but the best was yet to come. Ali himself may have had life's cards stacked against him, but he still had an ace up his sleeve. Still able to perform his most legendary piece of ring artistry, the Ali Shuffle. Here are the thoughts on the play from some of the notables that were present.
I would recommend people coming because I think they'd see a kind of theatre they haven't seen quite before, and based on the life of a very great figure of the 20th century as far as sports are concerned.
I mean, you come and see this and it tells you, it covers the whole span of his life, the meaning of his life, his religious beliefs and that, and it's a good story. It should be, I recommend it, fully recommend it.
We know he's a sick man and he slowed down, but to see him get on that stage and do that shuffle, almost as good as he did as Cassius Clay those days, I thought the play was excellent, the actor was perfect. All those words were Ali's words, they weren't written, because that was what he actually said. I thought it was an absolute diamond of it, you know. And he seemed to enjoy it too. His shoulders were up doing this and laughing at certain parts of it.
This production was a smash hit in New York. It has Ali's approval, so please go along and give it yours. And to quote Huey Green, I mean that most sincerely. Now, Billy, that is amazing to see that man do that.
He's still, yeah.
We know what kind of trouble he's been in with Parkinson's syndrome, but
it's great to see him like that. He's still floating like a butterfly. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, I recommend you go and see it, mate.
Yeah, I'd like to, yeah. And Ewing's in good shape as well.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Now, if you'd like to win some tickets to go and see Geoffrey C. Ewing's one-man show at the Mermaid Theatre, all you have to do is answer this question. What was Muhammad Ali's famous nickname? What was Muhammad Ali's famous nickname? I'm sure you'll remember it. First 3 correct entries pulled out of the hat will receive a pair of tickets each. Here's where to send your entries. Ringside, Sky Sports, P.O. Box 6, Grant Way, Isleworth, Middlesex, TW7 5QQ. Once again, Ringside, Sky Sports, P.O. Box 6, Grant Way, Isleworth, Middlesex, TW7 5QQ. There are the tickets. Bear in mind the play's in London, so if you live in Aberdeen, you've got a long journey if you win the tickets. We're going to take a quick break, after which we'll try and talk to Andy Till. See you in a minute. Welcome back to Ringside. We can't go to Andy Till yet. Obviously, it was a very bad cut, very bad clash of heads. I believe he's having a few stitches, so doctor's orders, we're not allowed in the dressing room. Billy, I just found a bit of paper, actually. Muhammad Ali's gone back to Iraq to try and get some more prisoners out. Remember when he went out last time?
Has he?
I mean, the legend that he is,
I
think he actually managed to get 10 prisoners out or so.
Yeah.
Now, Nigel Benn fights this weekend.
That's right, yeah, this Saturday.
Against Lou Gent. Tough fight. How do you see that going?
It is. It's going to be a very tough fight, as you say. It could go either way. I reckon Nigel might do it.
Purely on what, punch power?
Yeah, hopefully.
But if you look at Gent, I mean, he's had wars at cruiserweight.
That's right, yeah.
Wars at light heavyweight. He's come down to super middleweight.
Yeah.
He has been knocked out of the bigger weights, but...
Yeah.
He went 12 rounds with Wharton.
That's right. He's very tough, very durable. He's been around a long time. And he might do it. You never know. He's a good fighter. He's very tough. It's going to be a good fight. Interesting.
Both been training out in, was it Tenerife and Lanzarote, I think? Why don't you stick to Luton when you trained in?
Oh, yeah, I have to. Sunny old Luton. I wish somebody would send me to Tenerife.
What would you expect Nigel to do for that fight? Because Gent can take a shot. He got up off the floor with Wharton, boxed a draw. Do you think he should just come out, hammer and tongs, the old Dark Destroyer?
Yeah, he's going to have to be careful, though. If he does do that, he might clock one on the chin and you never know. But he might come out and start thinking a bit, I think, which he has been doing, trying to think the fight through a little bit more. But one's going to go.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Gent's from my part of the world. I know Nigel very well. I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to upset anybody. Now, what's going to happen with you, basically, because you lost your titles to Paul Burke. Very upsetting, and I was there cheering for you. Sorry, Manchester, but there you go. What are you going to do now? You've had a comeback fight. What's next? Right,
yeah, I fought last week. I had a nice 8-rounder. I fought a French guy. He was very tough, so it's a good fight for me, a good learning fight. We went the distance. So we're having a little time off now over the summer. Then we're looking to get back into action sort of September time. We want to get a rematch with Paul Burke if we can. Hopefully the board will nominate me, then they'll have to fight me and get a return and get them titles back.
That's your first loss. How much do you learn about yourself? 'Cause it's a great, you know, burden on your shoulders. I've lost. Yeah. What could I do?
It's a terrible thing to do, to actually lose your titles, but I really do believe that losing the title is going to be the making of me, because I've learned so much. I've got so much positive things from it that it's going to help me, I believe.
You tried a few new things out in your preparation for that fight, which I wasn't convinced about, and I think when you got in the ring there was something missing. You weren't your sharp old self.
Yeah, there's a few things missing, I believe, but I'm not trying to make excuses. I lost the title and that's it, but I'm really raring to go now, and I really want them titles back, and I'm really looking forward to getting the title shot again.
You're hungry, I can see it in your face.
Oh yeah, watching the title fight tonight, I'm really keyed up and want to get.
And who put you onto this doctor or nutritionist or whatever he is that told you to drink 8 pints of water a day?
Well, what it was, I went to see a specialist to get me stitches out, because I was thinking about getting laser treatment for them. But you see the cuts, and there was no problem with them. So, but as soon as I sat down, he said to me, "Oh, you got dry skin." I've seen a couple of other people as well, and they said, "Oh, you got dry skin." So he said, "Drink lots and lots of water," because for the last fight, I was dehydrating myself to make the weight a little bit, so I was cutting the water out. But drinking plenty of water is going to, because you imagine dry skin's going to rip and tear a lot easier than supple moist skin. So drinking all the water is going to help my skin be supple, and hopefully that caused a problem.
Do you have to use special sort of moisturisers or something like that? Or?
I do use a good moisturiser. Yeah, put plenty of that on and just drink plenty of water.
What kind of fight would you like next? You want to sort of, I know you're keen and you're young and you want to get straight back in there and get it. Do you not think you should have like a couple more? Too many people get too keen too soon. That's right. And then have another loss and then it's a downward spiral.
I don't mind. I'll leave that up to Mickey Duffy, manager. He's going to sort that out. But the fight I had last week was the fight. The fights we need are like that. So they're good learning fights. I mean, where I'm going to go, I need good learning fights to get me there. And they're good distance fights, really.
All right. Well, we wish you every success. Now, Andy Till has a very bad cut, very severe. He's having stitches, so we've pulled his trainer out from the dressing room, Johnny Bloomfield. He's with Paul Dempsey. This is the latest.
Thanks, Gary. Yes, indeed, you mentioned how serious a cut was. It's so serious, I'm afraid, that Andy Till, who would in normal circumstances, of course, be here talking to me now, he still can't come and join us because he's still getting stitches in. But the next best man to talk about it is his trainer, a very disappointed man, Johnny Bloomfield. But, Johnny, thanks for coming out. First up, tell us about the cut.
Well, he had 3 cuts, one on the left eye, what we could have controlled. The other 2 on the right, one above the eyelid, one underneath his eye, was very, very bad. I don't know, it'd be a lot of stitches. It was definitely caused, watching the video, it was definitely caused by it. I don't think it was, he'd done it on purpose. It was just one of those things. But you can't take nothing away from the Frenchman. Very, very good fighter. I watched 5 tapes of him. And I thought, Andy's got his work cut out, so...
Well, you're quite right, John. He did have his work cut out from the early stages, but I think we can actually review here the crucial moment, and we have established quite clearly that it was an accidental clash of heads right there.
That's right. That's for sure. That's, you know, I watched it, and that's not like Andy Till to do something like, you know, to even say to the ref that. I think on the night, what can you say? It wasn't Andy Till's night. It was a different fighter tonight than when he fought Wally Swift, Tony Collins. But the thing is, you're only as good as what the other guy's going to let you be. And I think this guy's a very, very, very good fighter. And what can I say? Well, you know, well done to the fella. But you know, when you get a cut eye like that, and it's got to be stopped from something like that, you know, it's a bit, you know, it makes you feel a bit down and that. But I mean, you know, fair dues to the man, to the Frenchman. I think he done come over here. He's never fought out of France before, and he's come over here and done a job. But you know, with Andy, it just wasn't Andy Till's night tonight, and it wasn't Andy Till who fought Wally Swift. But there again, you're only as good as what the other guy lets you be.
Johnny, I do respect your sportsmanship, and as usual, your camp always does it the right way. What does Andy Till do from here now?
Well, we'll have to see how bad the cuts are. I would say, seeing the cuts, you know, one might say he needs plastic surgery. I don't know yet. But, you know, it's a long way off. We'll have to sit down and have a serious talk about it and see how bad the eye is.
Not his night tonight, but he doesn't become a bad fighter overnight.
No,
so
one of those things.
We do wish him and all of you a speedy recovery.
Lovely. Thanks very much.
Gary and Billy.
Thanks, Paul. It sounds very, very serious, doesn't it? Plastic surgery after a cut like that.
Yeah, especially getting 3 cuts as well. 2 on one eye, and yes, plastic surgery, yeah, it could be, sounds very bad.
Credit to the camp, good camp that they are, Ariel and Johnny Bloomfield. they did give the man credit, and he did outbox Andy, to be fair.
That's right, rightly so. As you say, he did come over and box very well. He's out of his hometown, and he done the business, didn't he? He took the title, well, he kept the title, and he done well.
Andy Till, you're still British champion. The country's behind you. Now, next week, something of a first on Ringside when we bring you some amateur boxing. Recently in Glasgow, the Daily Star Golden Glove Championships were held, where the best 15 and 16-year-old amateurs from England, Scotland, Ireland and Wales met in a knockout competition. The action was fast and furious. If you want to see the stars of the future, I recommend you tune in next week at the slightly later time of 11 p.m. Well, that's all from us tonight. My thanks to Billy Schwert for taking time out to come and join us on Ringside. And congratulations to Laurent Boudouani, still the European light middleweight champion, and all the other winners on tonight's bill. Don't forget, more top-class PGA golf coming up on Sky Sports, this time the French Open from the European Tour, so catch that over the next 4 days. And as I said earlier, the Golden Gloves tournament to be featured on Ringside next week. Those boys only have 6 minutes in which to do it. Trust me, they give it everything they've got. Hopefully, I'll see you next week at 11 p.m. from everyone here on the Ringside team. Bye for now.